Shagun, what is their reasoning? Why do they want the flag to stay up?
Well, their reason is that it represents white pride and white heritage, and it is not a symbol of hate, but a symbol of Southern pride, which I find absolutely ridiculous. It was the flag carried into battle by the group of people trying to not only secede from the Union of America, but keep the institution of slavery. So their symbol is one of not only of oppression to black people, but it has nothing to do with America. They wanted a separate country.
I just think the easiest way to think about it is to compare it to how we feel about the Nazi flag. It was the same thing. What if a region of Germany wanted to put up a Nazi flag or a swastika? Because it's part of their history, part of German history, no big deal. We don't believe in the Nazi things anymore, but it's just part of our history. There would be some upset people about that, but do they have a right to do it nonetheless, the KKK? Shouldn't we protect their right to protest?
They do have a right to do it, and I'm proud that we live in a country where they can do it. I obviously find what they stand for to be despicable, but the hardest time to get behind and rally the First Amendment right to freedom of speech is when you don't agree with what people are saying, and we have to be so careful in this country when issues like this hot button issue that you feel so charged about, and you want to say, well, they can't do it. They shouldn't be able to stand there in this country and say those hateful things. But that's how we being able to have that public discourse is one of the cornerstones, one of the bedrocks of this country. And we cannot be in a country where the government says, I don't like your position, you don't get to say it.
But Annalise, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Take the hoods off then. If you want to show me that you're a racist, take the hoods off. Take the sunglasses off. I agree with you. They have every right to protest. Take your hoods off if you're so righteous.
And Judy,
let me see you eye to eye. Don't hide behind your hoods and your bigotry and be the guy at the water cooler at my job. Take your hoods off. Let us see that you're my next door neighbor.
Judy,
let's see you for who you are.
My concern is where speech becomes motivating hate. That's right. How do we figure that part out? When somebody, and we allow, and somebody does something because of it. Is there? How do we manage that?
And that's the problem, Dr. Drew. I think no matter what we do overtly, our behaviors and what we actually say out loud to people, almost everybody has some inherent and even sometimes unconscious bias. And this comes out in various different ways. There's actually tests that we can do to actually get at people's unconscious and illicit bias. And this is the problem. Where do we stop it? Once it starts going down that direction, if you're provoked, that's going to come out. Your bias will come out.
By Skype, I've got Gina Loudon. She's host of America Trends on U2 America. Give me your reaction to what we're discussing here.
I really think that the really sad part about this that I'm not hearing a lot about in the media, and you've addressed it before, but it's the fact that the South Carolina victims, the families and all of them, they really asked for peace. And they had about 2 days of media on that. And then all of a sudden now, all we're talking about are these flags. There's a rebirth of the almost dead KKK. And there are flags flying all over the South that were never there before. I just think it's sad. And I think that as a nation, we need to have more straight talk and heal from this and talk about the American race instead of all the race baiting.
Interesting. I want to give her a chance, our audience member. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the same thing. I thought that the whole thing about the flag came out right after the Charleston shooting. And why did it take so long? Why did we have to wait until the shooting happened with the kid with the photo? And I think it was like 1 week after. That's when Walmart banned it, Amazon banned it, everything banned. Everyone banned the flag.
Well,
why did it take that? Or was that the reason that why we banned it?
There's
like,
a group
quickly?
of people who've been saying ban it for a long time.
But the point is well taken by everybody. But you know, when change occurs, it occurs in spasms, and it occurs when something really awful happens. Unfortunately, I wish we could do things in a more disciplined way. But Gina, I'm not sure. Are you saying we should find a common ground and all get together rather than talk about things that split us apart?
I am, and I'm saying that we should tune ourselves into who the real race baiters are. It's not just the KKK. It's the Al Sharptons of the world, too. And I think that we need to hold them equally accountable. And I think we need to say that, you know, look, we as the human race want to talk about healing, want to talk about unity, want to talk about the American race. Because I think what is happening, if you look at the real results, Dr. Drew, we're not making progress when the focus has become a flag and the rebirth of the KKK. That's not progress.
Gene, I would like to, I agree with what you're saying, that they're race baiting on both sides, but when you say the KKK is dead, I disagree with that. I mean, it may not be as visible as it used to be, but there is bigotry and racism and hatred throughout America. It's interwoven in almost everything we do. When you're seeing cops kill black kids in the street, when you're seeing people getting choked to death, when you're seeing police officers hide evidence or even frame people, you have to understand that for a group of people, it will never be as simple as let's all sing Kumbaya and come together when we're not being invited to some country clubs, we're not being allowed to live in certain houses, we're not letting you get the same education. It's a little bit realer than just race baiting.
But I want to hear what this young lady has to say.
Yes and yes. I am so sick of people saying people have to have their right to speak. What about our right to live? All this racial stuff is killing our young men, killing Americans.
Killing America.
Yes, killing America.
Right? We need to get it together a little bit, right?
Yes, their freedom of speech. Yes, I agree with freedom of speech, but not as the result of people dying, and that's what's happening.